what advice then would you say for the Gen Z, right? I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword in the sense that let's say, I'm fresh out of college and I have a dream company and we all had our dream companies and say, hey, I want to work for company A or B, right? And just use an example, like, let's say Google has been ranked for many years like a top employer. Obviously, they're going through their own cycles of what's happening now, but let's say if you are going to a company like that who uses AI, right? Two questions. Number one, at like, what should the Gen Z keep in mind when you think about, you know, entering into a recruitment cycle which could be led by AI? And then second, at what point, does the employer like intervene to kind of do the cultural screening? Like, what are you seeing? Is it largely reliant on AI, and then when you make it to the final step, then you get to a human, or do you sense that maybe if there are four steps, like on step two, after the initial screening, there's a human intervention?
Yeah. Hell, I'll use the consulting answer and say it depends. 100% it depends.
Yes,
That's
sure.
that's what I learned at Deloitte in my first job out of university was, it depends. Um, I don't know how Google hires. My guess is that it's probably a second or third stage where they get into psychometrics or some sort of behavioral, cultural alignment sort of stuff. My guess is that the first round is probably AI screening, whether it be a bot that you're talking to or an avatar that you're talking to or some form of automation, just given the mass of applications that they have. My recommendation to Gen Z or anybody applying to those jobs, but certainly at the entry level where the volume of applications tends to be higher, is be you, be human. It's okay. Don't try to act differently. Even if it is a bot, just keep talking. Just keep having your conversation like you would anything else. These bots are getting smarter. They are getting better. They are getting faster. They're getting everything down. I demoed a bot the other day or a tool, not a bot, an AI that in 90 seconds of having a conversation, it can read your psychometrics with 80% accuracy. If it just hears the 2,500 different data points in your voice. If they get 10 minutes of voice, they can get that accuracy of your psychometrics, who, what, how you do things essentially. It can get it up over 90% accuracy. And so these tools are getting better, are getting faster and smarter. Don't try to trick them. Just treat it like it's a first round screen and talk about what makes you passionate. Talk about why you're a qualified candidate for this. My real recommendation, now, if I were talking to my kids or your kids, Nikhil, is Google's great. Love Google. Sure, it's great to get a Google on your resume, no doubt about it, or a Deloitte or whatever it may be. It's helped me for a long time. But you don't have to go there either. There's a lot of smaller, mid-name, small name companies that you've maybe never heard of that are ultimately gonna give you better experiences. I do think at some point, everyone should work for a big company like that, know what it's like, and get a big brand name on their resume. It's just like I feel like everyone should live in a big city at some point, and everyone should also wait tables at some point. Those are life lessons from Keith, 'cause there's so many good experiences and all that. That said, the line is long at Google, and so just like applying to an Ivy school or whatever it may be, only the top, are going to get it. And so, go find the other company that's actually going to, maybe talk to you human to human out of the gates and have this conversation. Uh, I feel like you go to the grocery store now and you buy the things that are organic or this or that. I think at some point there might be a recruiting, marketing thing or something that says, you get to talk to a human here, like, or made by a human or something like that. Because there's also a little bit of AI exhaustion going on right now, and if you go out there and read the candidate blogs and the job seeker blogs, a lot of people are frustrated because they don't feel like they're, like I said, they're getting heard, or like the bot listened to them or it cut them off, or they had an internet connection problem and it just doesn't handle those things as well as a human can right now. And so there's a lot of frustration, and quite frankly, there's still a lot of regulations and legality that's gonna come into play for that. We're at the very beginning stages of that part of it. And so I think, at some point, I might have a recruiting advantage, although I don't have the name Google. I might have an advantage to say, I'm going to talk to you. I'm the CEO, founder of the company. We're going to have a conversation. And I think that's pretty darn special. And if it were my kids, I think I'd rather they go there where they can learn and wear a lot of hats and get the experience and things like that. But not to talk against AI because it's there. And the advice again is treat it like you would anything else. Have a conversation, be you. If there's a tech glitch, just deal with it. Just move on, pause for a second, acknowledge the tech glitch, and keep going.